Welcome. I thought today I would lead you guys in an exercise, and so it's called Cultivating Heartfullness. And what that means is it's an exercise in connecting with your higher self. And it's really a way of getting the answers that are within and have always been within. And so when we access that piece of us that we all have access to, we really find some profound things about us. And so I want to first share with you the process. So the first process is what I call connection prayer. And I've done it a few different ways. One is writing it. One is just saying it out loud. And so let me go ahead and share what I prepared for this video. And so the connection prayer that came through me today was this. I ask for and invite all pieces of myself, past, future, and present. I ask for total unity and oneness. I know now and trust what speaks through me to be for my highest good and the good for others. I am aligned and fully connected to all aspects of me through oneness. I am connected to my true source of power. I am love. Amen. So from there, it gives me the opportunity to go to step 2. And what step 2 is an opportunity for your soul to speak, for you to express whatever it is that wants to come through. You know, for some of us, we're going through events in our life that are challenging and we just need guidance. For some of us, we may have a creative expression of something that we want to birth into existence. Maybe we have something we want to create for work. Maybe we want to know what is the best thing for us to do. This is literally taking our power back and becoming our own psychics. We no longer have to go to see a counselor or go to see anyone outside of ourselves, because I'm going to teach you how to do it right now from within. So cultivating heartfulness, step 1. Connection prayer. And that is really the important part, because it allows for you to really, really get in connection to your higher source. And for some people, they're like, wow, I didn't know there was a higher version of me. And it is. It's beautiful, because when you connect in, you just start becoming more of that higher version. And every day, you walk further and further into being better. And it's through this exercise of asking, inviting, calling into us those pieces of us that we get the opportunity to do that again. And so I am going to share some vulnerability with you so that you realize that we're all not perfect. Not even me. Matter of fact, I claim to be absolutely the opposite. So, even though I have a platform called Loveworkers.US, which has helped others to become more loving, it's really for myself. And that platform was built as a place to support others. And one of the things that I've learned is learning to be more loving does not mean rainbows and butterflies. Learning to be more loving is sometimes stepping in the shit, excuse my language. And sometimes it sucks, and sometimes it hurts, and sometimes you make really big mistakes. But it's through that process that you get to reflect, and you can start to kind of take a whole new direction in life. And so I like to call it course correction, which is beautiful. It gives us all the freedom to be who we are and to make mistakes. And so that's to me what love is. And so in this process, I had an experience lately, and so I'm going to share a little bit of what came through for me. And so I lead a class called Cultivating Heartfullness at every Sunday starting. This was our first one, and it's called Soul Church in Tacoma for those of you who are in the local area, the last Sunday of every month. And it was a very beautiful process, because what came through for me was a lot of information that maybe I wouldn't have had access to unless I was able to really fully ground myself into this earth energy. So I would say step 2 to this is, or step 1, I don't know if it necessarily has to be a step, but one of the pieces of the process is, I would say, really ground yourself through, a ritual or a meditation or something connection prayer, and then just allow for whatever wants to come through you. And we did it in a writing exercise. And so I'm going to share a little bit of the notes. And what I found was the way this came through for me was kind of like a question and answering. There was like me, and then there was my higher self or higher guidance or higher power speaking to me, through these pages. And it came like this. Like there was pictures and feelings and emotions, and it was a whole plethora of just being with a higher power. And Conversations with God is a book writing that kind of reminds me of this process. So the first thing as I'm starting on my journaling is you need to know something. Immediately I thought, am I in trouble? Right as that I write, you're not in trouble. And we are guiding you towards your destined place. Trust, let go, and allow. The cliche, you are not alone. Some of us feel like we've been alone in this. But apparently we haven't. We just haven't connected up. Since the dark can no longer harm you, you have played the role of both the dark and the light. Me, no, never the dark, always the light. Probably all of us are lying to ourselves. So anyways, to get more serious with this, you'll no longer be harming yourself. Oh, great. That's a great feeling. For you are a reflection of all that you are. And then I was asked the question is, why would you choose to hurt yourself or anyone? And a specific person popped into my mind, and immediately my mind went to do not reach out. And that's what I wrote. And I was able to kind of realize that was not of my heart. That was of the mind. So when I dropped back down into the heart, what I got was, I am sorry I hurt you. We need to talk. But there's this part of my spirit that bubbled up, and it was like, no, I'm not willing to talk. Mind, I did nothing wrong. I'm going to protect my position. And then I heard very lovingly, be angry until you can. Allow for the hurt, the pain, the sadness, the rage to come up in a safe place till you are ready. Mind, ego protection, heart, love, oneness. And I really had to start to look at who am I choosing to be. And to be honest with you, I'm not in a place to fully come from love in this experience yet. I'm not willing to apologize. I'm not willing to take the steps. And I think there's a lot of us who can relate to that. A lot of us who were forced to do things because it was the right thing to do, or our parents grabbed us by the nape of the neck and said, you apologize, when we weren't ready. And what I got next was like so powerful. And it's this piece right here that I just want you guys to get. That's okay. You're not done being angry. And I see Pele blowing. And the first eruption. And then all the after effects. These residual. You know, when you repress something so deep like that for so long. So give yourself space to be angry. I do think it's important to read this part. I'm just going to read quickly verbatim what came next. And I asked the question, can it be lifetimes to apologize, basically? And I heard it can. who would that serve? In the moment, I said, F you, I'm not her. And I heard, you are more alike than you are different. And I think that's true for all of us. Like realizing we are more alike than different. And if we can get to that place, we can start to really learn to love one another. And oftentimes it's the things that we don't like in ourselves that we see in others. And I hear that all the time in the spiritual realm. And until something actually happens to you and you're like, no, that's bullshit. And that's okay to feel that way. But eventually that can shift too. So then what came up was the question, have you ever been forced to do something you didn't want to? And the example was apologize prematurely. Be remorseful when you're not. And I think a lot of us have been forced to do things that we wouldn't have done from a very young age. We were never really taught how to manage our emotions and to be heard and to have a voice. And so we suppressed it so that we can look good and be right and be good and follow the rules and do all those things. But what it bred in society was a real inauthenticity and losing our voice. And I would say that what I'm seeing with this whole energy that's hitting the planet is that we're waking up and our voice is saying, no, we want to be heard. And it's coming through many different ways. And so there's power in refining that. And there's power in learning to cultivate true heartfulness. So back to have you ever been forced to do something you didn't want to? And the question was, how did that make you feel? And the answer was resentful and genuine and fake. And then I was asked to look at who I was mad at for being fake. And then the question was, who's fake? And the conclusion for me is we all are. And the question was asked is, why are you fake? And, we know no better. We were programmed to be. It got us out of being in trouble. Maybe people will like us. Maybe we won't get punished. Maybe we won't lose something that we actually really love. So all of this in genuinity, not speaking our truth, being fake has really just been punishing all of us. And then the question is, who does that serve? And apparently no one. And then the statement was, are you willing to consider we are all fake trees? So then it came to the lesson. And the lesson is this: forgiveness and self-love. And then the question was, didn't you ask to become more loving on many occasions? And that was something that I've been asking. I pray to be more loving. I pray that you bring more love into my life. And what I realized is sometimes the only way to do that is to go through the dark pieces of ourselves, call back those shadow aspects. And so I hear this chuckling, well, now you know how. And then I heard, and you say we don't answer requests. So I guess I'm going to have to say I'm going to be thankful for the lessons. And I just wanted to share with you guys some just real vulnerability and some things that come through when you do this process. This process does work. This process is a great tool. It's a great tool so you don't have to seek guidance outside of yourself. You don't have to go pay hundreds of dollars to psychics. You don't have to go pay hundreds of dollars to counselors. You can actually become your own counselor. And so the steps that work for me, and I encourage you to kind of create your own, is step one, really ground into the earth. And there's a lot of different meditation practices that you can do that with. Connection prayer, and then you can write it, you can speak it out loud, you can do a video, maybe share it with a friend, whatever. But, and I kind of discourage the sharing with a friend because I think we do a lot of that. I think this is supposed to be more of an internal process, like a real internal thing. So figure out how you can cultivate that relationship, heartfulness, loving us through us, as a way to connect with and bring forth the highest aspect of yourself, which is how you can be in service. So, if anyone has questions, I would be happy to answer. I also offer free sessions. It's a 30-minute consultation where I connect you in with your higher self, and that's all we do. And if you're unfamiliar with the higher self, or if you know you have a higher self, it may look a little different. So I'm kind of going to meet you wherever you're at. But session 1 with me is always the same, and it is connecting you with your higher power and clearing that line so that you have the tools to do this work and you don't need people like me. That is my heart, and that is my mission, and that is my goal, is to serve others in learning to serve themselves. So, and that is sovereignty, and that is love. So, with that being said, I honor each one of you, and thank you so much.